Hi guys, so today I wanted to talk a bit about how you can boost organic reach on Facebook. So we got a guest post from Justyna Skorupska, and there's a lot of interesting content in it that will help you basically increase your visibility on Facebook and make most out of the organic promotional potential on Facebook. So kind of starting from the very beginning, let's have a look at the post. If you could join me in the link that I shared with you here. Why is organic reach declining? As you may have heard or read in our previous posts, in 2018, Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook will be showing less content from pages, business pages and brands, and more content from friends and family to improve user experience. And well, it might be that it improves user experience a bit, but also the rationale behind it is to basically force brands and businesses to buy more paid ads and to increase Facebook profits. So how can you still increase your organic reach on Facebook? You basically need to create content that gets more engagements and more likes and more comments, and especially because this is how Facebook ranking, so the algorithm behind showing different types of posts on people's walls on Facebook and in your feed basically works. So that's what the algorithm takes into account. First and foremost, the comments. So what can you do to get more comments and to get more shares on people's private walls, which usually get more engagement because the posts that are shared are more popular and get more engagement than posts that are posted directly in business pages? Well, first you need to create content that is a fire starter, so that starts discussions, that stirs discussions. And how can you do that? You need to kind of include elements of virality. So take into account what appeals to basic human psychology and include a clear call to action, and also basically stay within limits. So you shouldn't use too much text in the graphics. You shouldn't use too many hashtags, so spam with hashtags. You should kind of try to limit the number of words you use in the posts as well. So creating viral content. I have been reading an interesting book recently by Jonah Berger. It's called Contagious: Why Things Catch On. I linked to this book on Amazon in the post, and Jonah mentions the so-called 6 principles of contagiousness. So what makes content actually go viral? And I wanted to share some of them with you. I included some really interesting examples in the post here. So basically, one of the first reason is social currency, right? So something that makes you cool, something that makes you sound either smart or funny or special when you share it with your friends, right? People love sharing things that make other people laugh because it both makes them sound more funny and like they have a good sense of humor, like they are cool, and also it basically helps them build relationships with their friends, right? So, or some interesting content, right? I included an interesting example that a friend of mine shared with me today. It's basically a little life hack that is a mathematical formula, right? So if you're calculating a percentage of a certain number, so the percentage of this number is basically the same. So, well, I'm not really good at explaining math formulas, it seems, but go check out this post. It's really, really cool. It's a really nifty life hack. And that's also why this friend shared it with me, not because I'm so interested in maths, right? So an interesting piece of information that makes you connect with other people, that makes you feel cooler. This is the principle of social currency. Another principle that makes content more shareable, more likable, more commentable is basically triggers. right? So if you have something in the content that reminds you of something else, that triggers thoughts about your product or service, that's good. That's, for instance, how KitKat promoted its chocolate bars, because they kind of created ads with creatives where people were drinking coffee and eating Kit Kats. And they tried to build this association between coffee, which is very popular, and Kit Kat. So when people were buying coffee in a convenience store or in a canteen, they kind of immediately remembered the ad, and this triggered their appetite or cravings for a Kit Kat, right? So people were buying Kit Kat whenever they were buying coffee, or at least that was the intention, and it definitely really worked for Kit Kat. Another point that makes content contagious, that makes content more commentable and shareable, and that increases organic reach on Facebook, is using emotions. People love emotional content, especially content that is funny, interesting, uplifting, but the emotions don't necessarily need to be positive. They can also be negative, but there is a catch. If negative, then they still need to be stimulating, right? So they can be either infuriating. When something makes you angry, you are more likely to share it. For instance, today I shared a piece of content that made me annoyed with my friend. It was something to do with taxes, right? It's definitely not funny. It's definitely not really pleasant or nice. Doesn't make you happy. It may not be very interesting, but it was just infuriating, right? It was making me angry, so I shared it with her, right? Another thing is content that appeals to people's fear of missing out, or generally makes people afraid or anxious. That kind of content is also more shareable. But that does mean that any emotions make content shareable. So for instance, emotions that are sort of depressing don't really make content shareable. So you don't usually share things that make you sad, or that makes you feel more passive, right? That makes you feel depressed, right? So any content that you share, any emotional content that you share, should be stimulating, should be triggering people to do something, to take some action, to do something about the content, right? Either in the positive sense or in the negative sense, right? So another criterion for contagiousness or shareability that boosts organic reach on Facebook is social proof. So appealing to the basic monkey see, monkey do, herding kind of reflex in people. So if people see other people doing something, if people see other people using something, right, they are more likely to want to use it themselves. And finally, or almost finally, another important factor that makes content shareable is practical value, right? So, for instance, take BuzzFeed's Nifty Facebook page, which has garnered 31 million followers. That's an amazing number for a page that shares videos with arts and crafts. One thing is that the videos are very well made, but another reason is definitely that they have a lot of practical value. And by having this practical value, by allowing you to solve everyday problems in a faster, cheaper, more efficient, smarter way, right? These videos make you feel smart. If you apply the tips from the videos and achieve the results that you can see in the videos, you will feel smart. So you're more likely to share this content with your friends, or you may share this content with someone that you know needs this particular solution, right? And that both builds the relationship and makes you feel cool. And finally, the final takeaway for creating viral content, for creating content that will get higher organic reach on Facebook, is wrapping your content in a story. So regardless of what your product is or what your service is, even if it's a completely digital product or service, you can still tell a story about it. And I included a really interesting example that was also mentioned in the book. It's Google's ad. Well, it's hard to believe that 10 years ago, Google was advertising for its search engine, but it's true. It's a video called Parisian Love Story, and it basically shows search results that kind of gives a hint that a guy went to Paris on a student exchange, fell in love with a French girl, and then moved to Paris, so became an expat, was looking for a job there, then was looking for a church in Paris. So we got this sweet little hint that he was getting married to the sweet Parisian girl he met there, and then he was searching for how to assemble a crib. So, and there was a baby's cry in the background, in the soundtrack. It was a really kind of heart-wrenching, sweet love story that was advertising a search engine. So how ingenious is that? This creative idea, which was also quite cheap because there wasn't any video, there was just this video showing someone typing in queries into a search engine, was super ingenious and super creating, and showed a relatable, heartwarming story. So basically these 6 principles will allow your content to be more viral, more shareable, more commentable, and will increase your likelihood of increasing your organic reach on Facebook. Another way how you can boost organic reach on Facebook is by including a clear call to action. So ask your users to vote with reactions, ask questions in the post, and tag a person and ask them to actually do something, right? Another way is basically asking your employees to share your content on their personal walls, profiles, because that kind of shares also get more engagements. And basically, if your employees are buying into your company values, they should be willing to share your company posts or behind the scenes on their walls as well. Well, from time to time, of course, don't overuse it. And I included an interesting behind the scenes video, a tongue-in-cheek behind the scenes video here from Brand24. So check out the post in the live description. Okay, and we're moving on to another point, how you can make your Facebook videos, your Facebook posts more commentable, more shareable, and how you can boost your organic reach is by sharing some valuable knowledge and positioning yourself as an expert. And that ties into the next point, which is publishing evergreen content. So content that is always useful, always relatable, that's not very time sensitive. So obviously things like guides, how to studies, case studies are very evergreen. On the other hand, news and statistics showing time sensitive phenomena aren't evergreen, obviously. And then finally, 2 more interesting ideas for boosting organic reach is by sharing discounts. So 33% of Facebook users admit they are following Facebook pages just because they want to get discounts from the page. Right? So this is a big motivator for people to actually both share your content with their friends, because if they spot a valuable discount, something that they believe is worth sharing, they will definitely share it with their friends that may need that discount, right? Another way is basically partnering up with another business page in your niche. So find a complementary, of course not a competitor, but a complementary business that targets the same audience, or that at least has an audience that overlaps with your audience to a large extent, right? And ask them to swap Facebook posts. So you share their posts, they share your posts, right? Of course, as long as it's relevant to your audience. And that way you can also increase your organic reach pretty easily. Finally, use advocacy or use influencers, micro-influencers, and key opinion leaders as well. So choose micro-influencers, so influencers you can afford, right? Because obviously rock stars or celebrities, football players are not going to share your content if you're a small business. But if you find a micro-influencer that has a few thousand followers in your niche, and you offer them a free sample of your product or a free product, or basically a small payment, a small remuneration, they will be probably more than willing to share your post. Right, and finally, going viral. There's a little bit more on going viral here. And last but not least, a point that I find very interesting is don't spam with hashtags. So use hashtags well. If you're using too many hashtags, it will definitely decrease your organic reach. So it's better to use one but really relevant hashtag than go for 30 hashtags that are vaguely related. And please don't use hashtag like Polish girl or Mexican girl or whatever, which basically are not really related to your content, but they are very popular because Facebook is now increasingly implementing mechanisms against such cheating strategies. So there's even a list of banned hashtags, and if you go to our blog, you can find a post describing how you can check if a hashtag is banned or not. So again, use hashtag wisely, choose only one hashtag that is really relevant to the content of your post, that somehow makes it easier for the users to find your post on Facebook and to find relevant content to what they are looking for. So basically these 9 strategies will help you increase your organic reach on Facebook. I hope you will be able to apply them. Let us know how it's going and if you have seen any uptick in your engagement and organic reach after implementing these strategies. Cheers for watching, and well, we are looking forward to seeing you in our group, Social Media Marketing Academy with Postfity. Tomorrow we are hosting Adam Paciorek, who is a rockstar marketing consultant who has worked with celebrities like Anthony Robbins or big companies such as Philip Morris, and who will be talking about Twitter and how you can grow your Twitter followership from 0 to 1,000 followers in just 25 days or less. So stay tuned, join our group, and we're looking forward to seeing you there tomorrow. Okay, cheers for watching again. Bye bye.